Today we welcome Felix Heldt, aka Dr. Dead, from Dominum to the podcast. Dominum's new album, Night is Calling, is out this Friday on Napalm Records. Felix talks about falling in love with Slipknot and the appeal and downsides of being a masked band, letting their influences drive their sound more than any specific genre, the writing approach the band took on Night is Calling, and the balance between writing on theme and being relatable, and more. This was a super fun chat I got to have with Felix, and Dominum's a really fun band. I think Night is Calling is an excellent record, and I hope you check it out on Friday. Thanks much for listening to this episode of As the Story Grows. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our Discord server, and our Patreon page. Enjoy today's conversation with Felix from Dominum.
While they slowly creep into your head, the curtain is falling.
You're Nuremberg?
Yes, Nuremberg, Germany, in
Nice.
Bavaria.
Yeah, that's fun. Is that where you grew up?
Yes, I'm from Nuremberg. I never left Nuremberg, and I probably never will.
Is that like a common thing in Germany to just kind of stay where you grew up, or are a lot of people like, I don't know, moving to Berlin or some shit like that?
I don't think that there's a general rule. For instance, our bass player, he's also originally from around here, but he moved to Cologne because like the scene, like the band scene is a bit different in Cologne, or like our drummer. He's also, well, it's not a German thing because he's from Brazil, but he moved to Berlin. But let's say that the guitar player and me, we basically never left home. But I don't think it's a general rule. It's like, so sometimes people go to certain cities. In Germany, it would be maybe mostly Berlin, as you said, or Mannheim, where there's more of a scene and where it's easier to meet people that do the same thing as you do. I don't know how it is in the States. If there's also some, like Nashville would be the first thing that comes to my mind, where there's like maybe a big recording scene or whatever.
I don't know. I have found that like among musicians, especially touring musicians, where they grew up is kind of home because you're traveling all the time and it's nice just to have home base. But like, I grew up and I live again in Washington, D.C. So people come here for reasons that aren't music related, but it's like not a lot of people who live here are from here. So, it's just the way it is.
Absolutely. And to be really honest, as you said, it's like we're on tour so much, and maybe we also then have a little bit of a different feeling for coming home, because I need somewhere where there's a little bit of roots to feel somewhere home, because it might get really fast that you lose a little bit of that, how do you say, a little bit of that connection. So it's really important for me, and I have all my family around here, which is also cool, and I'm a family guy, so
yeah, that's cool. What gets you into music, and maybe what draws you into like heavy music?
So I was listening to music all my life, basically, but there was a time where I didn't listen to metal all my life. I listened to top 40 music before I listened to metal. I was on the wrong side. But then I watched MTV. Back in the day, there was MTV. And I've seen a music video from a band called Slipknot, which was Duality, which was their MTV phase, I would say, their MTV episode. And I could not believe what I was seeing there. It was such a crazy experience, because I just didn't know that this exists. I've had an Ozzy Osbourne CD before, which is also heavy, but it wasn't like, okay, this is like changed my mind completely and threw everything over what I was thinking. But when I had that riff, that was so heavy. I could not believe it. So after that, I went back to all the records that I got and like, okay, I need to find something that's equally as cool, and I didn't find anything. So I dived more into the heavy direction and found my destiny.
Yeah. I was going to ask this question later, but because your first like connection with heavy music was Slipknot, did that kind of lead you and the band towards this alter ego mask like character persona, or is that something completely different?
No. It's you are a slave of your socialization, I would say. And mask bands always had kind of an impact on me, but obviously it was Slipknot. It's and also Ghost then later, because like Dominum is not that old, so it's not only Slipknot that influenced all that process. But yeah, if I'm really honest, I was such a huge Slipknot fan, you have no idea. So it's no miracle that I'm now playing in a mask band. But I'm the only one not wearing a mask, so that's the weird bit.
Yeah.
It's just too warm.
Yeah, I always am impressed by Slipknot, and I can't imagine being on stage and playing wearing a mask. Like, that's got to be uncomfortable.
I think it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I think it's a nightmare. And when I see the faces of my mates after the show, every time they look horrible. No offense, but it's just you can clearly tell just by the look.
Yeah.
All right, that is heavy. And we've had a situation where when we did our very first music video shoot for Patient Zero, it was a very long day. It was a very hot day, and the idea is always to save money. Because shooting videos is very expensive, and the idea was, okay, we do this Patient Zero video with big story and 2 locations and everything, and after that we do another video. We shoot another performance video because the set is already there, and you just need to like you can take advantage of that and just film a second video and think of a second layer later. So that was the plan, and after the first shot was done for Patient Zero, I was like, all right, cool, let's do the second video then. And the drummer came to me and looked. I just can see the eyes, I can't see any other expression. And his eyes told me, we can't do this now. I can't hit a single more time on that drum right now. It's not gonna happen. And so we had to improvise and do a little bit differently. But I think it's quite intense. And then when the weather conditions is, I don't know what's the temperature in the States right now, but here it's like 34 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty warm. And when this adds up to also like physical work, like playing drums, it's just, I think it's insane. And I also have this one scene in front of my eyes right now from this one Slipknot DVD for Disaster Pieces, where Clown just pukes on the floor through his mask. And I think I would bet that was not a single incident that happened. I think that might have happened more often.
Let's talk about the band. When this project gets started, what were your musical influence, or what were you trying to do? Because you're not a band that sounds like Slipknot, and even though I see you kind of described as power metal, you're not really a power metal band.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing with power metal was a thing where, and I get this point, where especially the business people around us told that we give this baby a name. And I understand this, because you can't write into a summary, you've never heard something like this before, this has never been heard before, this is just like a red flag. No one does that. But still, I also agree that, especially towards this record now, that it basically is not power metal. It's not, it has nothing to do with, I don't know, Halloween or Rhapsody or whatever you want to call power metal. So and I mean, it's all a crazy cocktail of all the stuff that I listened to in the last 20 years. It's not only Slipknot, it's also Ozzy, it's also Ghost, it's also Powerwolf. I listen to all sorts of music. I'm not tied to any genre really, because in my opinion, like a good song is a good song, and I really don't care about the genre. So I can't really tell, but I would say that maybe on the first record it was a huge influence of, let's say, bands like Sabaton, Ghost, obviously, and Powerwolf, and all that stuff that also surrounds me. When I write, for instance, with Ben, my friend Ben from bands like Feuerschwanz or D'Artagnan, that also influences everything. Everything you do and everything you experience, all the festivals that you're at. If you surround yourself all day with opera, then probably this is going to influence the music, and it goes a little bit, all right, why don't we do a little bit of opera in here? And when you listen to all day, probably your drum grooves are going to be a little bit more. So I think it's a result of the last 20 years.
Yeah. Was your concept always to do like a mass band and to have this like horror Halloween element to it?
If that was the idea from the beginning? Or?
Yeah.
I mean, to be really honest, no one in the band is really like a cosplayer or anything, or where you would say, okay, we get dressed up as zombies every weekend and meet up with people and do stuff like this. We're not that crazy about it, but the band was founded during COVID, and that was also a time where concept bands were kind of hyped, and also I was hyped, so, and I was producing a pirate band, and in the evening I was sitting in front of the TV and watching a zombie movie, and I was wondering, okay, why is there that, like, there's Viking bands, there is pirate bands, there is all sorts of bands. Why is there a zombie band? It's the most obvious thing to do, because everyone knows what a zombie is. My grandma knows what a zombie is, right? So why is there no zombie band? Now I know the answer. When you try to do a zombie band, it's a nightmare, because it's like the mask, the makeup, everything is just horrible. But I was like, all right, I have a great idea. Let's do it right now. And then we into that pool of shit. Is it,
I don't know if it's tough or cool that there's this rise in like mass bands or themed bands right now, like whether it's Sleep Token or like there's a whole realm of like mass bands, like it's having this popularity. Like, is it cool to be a part of that, or is it just like, damn, we were hoping we'd be more? No. It's cool. It's just
I just meant that being a zombie or creating a zombie is not as easy as it seemed at the beginning, because like putting proper makeup on is close to impossible for someone like us that is not educated to do that. Like if you're a makeup artist, it's fine, but we're not. We're just boys playing guitar. So we needed to find someone who can supply masks and create masks that fit really well and that can sustain touring, because touring is very it's very difficult and for instruments and for all the equipment. But no, I think it's everything has its right now it's the century of mass bands, and maybe that has also to do something with like everything being really weird in this world right now. It's a lot of war going on. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, a lot of crazy people in a lot of crazy governments. So, and I think people are tired of this maybe and want to escape in a world that's not that's a bit different. And I think this maybe helps, because when you listen to and watch a Sleep Token show, for instance, you get sucked into this other dimension. And we experienced this too. Like when people come to a Dominum show, they also tell us that it's like coming into a different world. So maybe that has also to do something with the popularity of bands like this. But however, I'm also very convinced that masks only are not the recipe for a successful band, because if your music is not good, then no one's going to care about the masks.
Something is wrong, don't get me started. The deadly grin, no longer got it. My days of control seem over. She got me hooked, it's like a trauma. I was
New album's called Night is Calling. How has your approach to not just writing music, but writing lyrics evolved as the band has grown and changed to like keep it fresh and relevant?
Yeah, well, it's constantly questioning yourself and questioning what you're doing, and always doubting if the way that we went so far, is it the perfect way, or maybe can we upgrade it here and there. And yeah, we just tried to do a few things differently, and maybe also, I mean, we played so many shows last year. I think it was 80 something shows. It was wild. And when playing 80 shows, you learn a lot about yourself and about the band and who you are, or you how do you say, you adjust your thoughts about your band a little bit.
Yeah.
And the difference also from album 1 and 2 is that we just did not give too much of a fuck about everything, because on the first record it was created during COVID. We couldn't test anything, we couldn't play any show, so it was really like, okay, let's try this like how it is. But then you play those shows and you learn, okay, maybe that can be adjusted a little bit, and this shapes the whole thing. And the conclusion to this is, you can shape whatever you want, just trust your gut. Yeah. That is like what we did on the third record mostly. Keeping all the experience, sucking all the experience in that you have on the road, and then just go with your gut.
Nice. You guys have always had cover songs on your album. You have a cover of Thriller on this new one, and you fucking nail it. It's incredible.
Awesome. Thank you.
Has there ever been pushback from the label on the cover songs? Because I know that can be kind of a rights and money nightmare.
Not really, because you mean like they were skeptical about it, or what?
Yeah, or not wanting to put it on the record to have to pay for it or something.
No, the thing is, when you don't change anything in the composition, like when you sing word by word and don't change anything of the melody, technically you're allowed to do a cover, because
okay.
The songwriter and the lyricist of that song is Rod Temperton, and we like the share of Thriller of this record doesn't go to our label or to us, it goes to him.
Yeah.
So he earns money with it, so why would someone complain about it? So I think it gets tricky when you change something, when you change the lyrics or whatever. Then you have to ask the publishing before if you're allowed to do it. But as soon as you just respect the composition, you can just cover it.
Yeah. On this record, there seems to be more songs about, different characters: Nosferatu, Jack the Ripper. What led to kind of highlighting different people on this album?
Well, Nosferatu was, we tried to keep not only the music interesting, but also a little bit of the backstory, like the Ghost also do it. Like there's also different singers and different characters that come to play. But here, it's on this record we highlighted Dr. Dead a little bit more. Instead of saying a third time, "Watch out, the zombies are coming," we wanted to highlight the emotions and the feelings, and how does a villain become a villain on that record. So and obviously it always has to do with love. In the second single, Dr. Doctor, he dies of a broken heart. But I think I'm not spoiling if I say, but he's not dead, or not fully dead. So probably he comes back, and this is where Nosferatu was born, because it's a vampire version and a Dracula version, and so it's just fun to highlight those personas. And I mean, Jack the Ripper it sounds very cool. It sounds very hooky, like the headline Jack the Ripper. This sounds so cool, so it's like born to be a song for Dominum.
Yeah. Do you like being able to have a lyrical approach that's more fantasy and, story driven than like having to dig through whatever personal shit or political stuff?
I'm not very sure if it's only fantasy, because we try to sing about things that resonate with people and resonate with us, but we just disguise it in a fantasy world. So we don't sing, "I have a broken heart, I'm not feeling well." We try to find like metaphors for that, and like disguise it in a zombie way and put a little bit of zombiness in those emotions. So I'm not sure if it's all fantasy, but obviously there are songs that are fantasy only, and this is also great fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are playing some festivals this summer and then touring fall, winter with Night Flight Orchestra. Is there... what do I want to say? How is kind of the touring cycle, I guess, changed for you guys, where, you know, obviously this record's coming out and then you're in the summer festival season, but like, are you itching to get out on the road, or is it like, okay, to wait and do this tour this, you know, later after the record's been out a couple months?
No, it's people also write this, that it's so long until it's winter when we play our tour. And for us, it's the same. We like to be on tour all year, but this is just not a good idea to do. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And it's also not possible. So, like, talking of being home, being on tour is like a second home for us. Like, we are on the road with each other, and we have good talks and hang out and be around people that we like, and like all the lifestyle. So it's a really important thing for us. And whenever, it's also getting kind of difficult from time to time, because, for instance, last year we've been so much on the road that I might have been more on the road than I was home. And this year everything changed a little bit, and I'm very much here. And now also my girlfriend says, "Oh, it's time that you get on the road again. You were fucking annoying." And I was like, "Yes, I know." So it's like a constant adjustment of the life situations. But we are very looking forward to going on the road again, for sure.
Like a